What's going on? It's Justeeni here, and today I'm going to show you guys this game called Uniwar. It's kind of like if Polytopia and chess had a baby, and then that baby became super ultra competitive. Let me show you the tournament scene. It does actually like get a surprisingly decent amount of participation because you can see how many online players there are, less than 100. Yeah, these tournaments actually like these tournaments have a decent amount of participants. It's kind of like impressive. This is I would say it's like if Polytopia completely neglected any casual play, you would basically get this game. It does have a map maker, and it's very symmetry based. It's a lot easier to balance this kind of game, and I'll kind of show you why. There's only 3 factions, or races, I guess, in this game. I'll just do Sapiens versus Titans. There's a Fog of War. It's this kind of Fog of War, where if you like move, reveals stuff, but then also if you move away, oh my goodness. It's like what you expect to see when you think Fog of War. Yeah, so I'm gonna just capture bases. These make the credits. Units are complicated. The combat system is way more difficult to wrap your head around than Polytopia, which it's got its pros and cons, I suppose. I mean, you can't really like memorize all the interactions so easily. Oh yeah, I can step on this. This unit does not have the ability to capture bases, but I can just keep it there and just kind of do that. I really like these Marauder guys because they move. They can move twice. Why do they want to do that? Yeah, the way that bots work in this game is they're kind of stupid, kind of like Polytopia. And then the harder bots, they just make more credits. I believe that's what these are called. Does it make a difference where I move this? I'll move it here. I forget how these swamp tiles work. There's also these medical tiles which make your units heal for thrice as much. But yeah, you can see this is a totally symmetrical map. Yeah, if you glanced over, this terrain is very complicated. It affects movement and attack and defense bonuses. Oh, you think like, oh, this is a lot to memorize? Oh, this is just how it works for light ground units. Let's look at amphibious units. Completely different. Completely different. All right, let's look at heavy ground. Oh, what? It's totally different as well? What about flying? Flying's actually the easiest one because like the only thing that adds any mobility cost is the bases. Oh, what's mobility? Oh yeah, this stat, which is measured in this way because of the fact that they want to keep the system like this. Oh yeah, there's also aquatic units. That one's also very simple. Yeah, again, this game, it just kind of is complex. It's just kind of a state of being at this point. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I will say it makes this game very hard to approach. Oh, this actually cannot reach because yeah, it turns out I believe those are called swamps. Yeah, swamps cost a lot of mobility, and these bad boys only have 9. So 4 for the base, and then yeah, you get the gist of it, I would imagine. I'm gonna mow these guys down. Yeah, this is really annoying because this is a defense bonus, and if I try to go here, yeah, suddenly that interaction flips around completely. So I'll just make a helicopter and call that a day. And now they're gonna start making oh my goodness. They're gonna start making units, all right. That's what they're gonna do. Let's move this on back. Yeah, these are kind of, this is basically like Rider Road spam, but in Uniwar. I think it's, the Titans also have their own like funny Rider equivalent. I believe the Crawlian's the other one. The bug guys don't have that sort of thing. And if you're wondering like, oh, which race is the most overpowered, again, this game's, because of how it works, it's quite easy to balance. There's not as many units, there's not as many like macro things you need to care about. It's very easy to balance micro interactions, and there's only 3 races. The hard part about balancing is not actually like balancing the factions themselves, but balancing the maps, because the maps actually have to be balanced in very careful ways. Especially custom maps, which, fun fact, this game does have a map maker. I might show you guys that. You can make maps, which is like making the maps themselves is pretty easy, but making a good map, of course, is extremely difficult, because you have to basically just know all the intricacies of the game if you want to even try to make a good map. I'll just get an engineer. These multiply healing, so the helicopter will actually heal for 2 instead of 1. I'll just do that. I'm sure like a good Uniwar player is like absolutely cringing about how I did that. I know that I did that very, very wrong. You're actually supposed to attack with the weaker units first in this game, because of this very funny mechanic that I kind of hate a lot, but it's in the game. It's called gang up bonus, and you guys can pause the video and read this. I'm not going to read it. I've read it a lot, and I still don't fully understand how it works. It's just, it's strange. Like, and I'm sure some person that's never played this game before is going to explain in the comments like, oh, it's so simple. It's just repeats exactly what is on the text. Like, you think it's simple, and then you try to replicate how it works in game, and it just doesn't. Like, it's weird. Like, you think you understand it. It's kind of like road mechanics in Polytopia, where like you think you understand roads, and then unless you like actually really understand it, then you're gonna get confused by roads every now and then. Speaking of which, road guide soon. I know I've said that before, but yeah, it's actually going, like, I'm making progress on it slowly but steadily, and it will be good. I'm taking the time to make sure it will actually be good. Oh yeah, there is also a zone of control in this game, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, I can actually show you an example of like, so that does 4 damage and then 2 retaliation. But if I hit with this, completely sacrificing this unit, oh look at that, 5 damage, 0 retaliation. Why does it do 5 damage, 0 retaliation? I don't know. Well, I think like the reason is the way that combat works is it's comparing your attack strength, your defense, their attack strength, their defense, and one more element called RNG. There's RNG in this game. Only one part of this game, because you've noticed there's no ruins, there's no resource RNG, the maps are perfectly symmetrical. The one element of RNG that I am aware of is the combat. There is RNG in the combat. It's really hard to actually tell when there's RNG in the combat because of like the complexities of it, and also a gang up bonus. Maybe if I'm lucky. Wait, are you serious? Yeah, I think this is a good example. Yeah, you think, okay, so this is 10 HP, this is 5 HP, and the way that like HP works is like when something gets lower in HP, it becomes weaker in both attack and defense. So this 10 HP should, you know, not get any retaliation damage, considering this 8 HP also did not suffer any retaliation damage, and it dealt 5. Nope, it takes 1 retaliation. I'm pretty sure that's RNG, or maybe someone that's actually understands this game can tell me it's not actually RNG. Or like this was the likely event in the RNG. Again, I've like only briefly glanced at a damage calculator, and yes, there are percent values in the damage calculator. That's how I boldly assumed that it is RNG. Normally damage calculators don't need to tell you the percent likelihood of a damage being dealt. But Uniwar damage calculator was so kind to tell us that. Oh, I just kind of forgot about that little boat dude there. Yeah, I think we're winning. One thing with this game though is like credit advantage is pretty big, just kind of with how the game works in general. It's a lot easier to hold on to a credit advantage, which means like it's actually a challenge to beat these hard bots. In some cases, I swear it's actually just flat out impossible unless you get like perfectly like stupidly lucky. Like if the map's like just a really crowded map and you're going against like basically Crawlians, which are basically kind of like the quick rushdown faction or race, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, we're doing our thing. We're cruising along. We're gonna make more tanks because I don't know what I'm doing. Move this back. Yeah, you don't have to worry about night chains in this game, because the one thing interesting is like unlike Polytopia, like the units have very simple abilities. Like there's no like crazy. Well, actually no. There. You know what? I should show that off. There is actually a version of mind bending in this game. You know, I actually kind of lied about there not being very many complex abilities. There definitely are. This engineer actually has an EMP ability, which I can show off next turn if I so have the chance. Oh yeah, and this is interesting because its attack range is 2 to 4, so it can't hit right next to it. I believe the Walker has the longest attack range in the game, 3 to 5. It has a blind spot. That's so goofy and silly. What a silly game. I mean, it makes like logical sense that a long range unit would have a blind spot, but I like to make fun of it because it's weird and foreign to me. So therefore I must make fun of it. That's how a lot of things in life work, apparently. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that. And yeah, I guess I don't really know what this video is really supposed to be about, other than yeah, I'm playing this Uniwar game. If you actually go on YouTube and like look up Uniwar, you'll actually see there's like hardly any Uniwar videos, and they of course have barely any views, because again, this game is actually not that popular, and like all the game footage you will find is the tournament footage. At least that's the stuff that gets views. And it's mostly really old, like 8+ years old. Yeah, that's what the EMP does, by the way. It just disables it from retaliating. If you couldn't tell. That's how it works. Let me just make one of these bad boys. But yeah, I'll kind of show you some other features of this game. Some good, some interesting, and then some... There are actually some downright terrible features of this game. I'm not gonna hide that. I'll show you in a bit once I'll just like skip this animation. Yeah, you can actually skip the animations. It's amazing, right? Oh yeah, here's something interesting also. If you actually look, so this has a mobility of 12, right? And it has the special ability of moving after attack. So with 12 mobility, right? And you can see how this works again, right? Okay, so it has 6 mobility when it escapes. I believe that applies for every unit with escape. It escapes with half the movement. It does not say anywhere that it does that, but it does do that. You can only tell after you actually attack and all that. Again, very intuitive game. I'm gonna heal with these Marauders, and because Marauders are like based in Marauder Pilled or something, I don't know. Yeah, they have 2 actions a turn, and they're, yeah, Marauders, am I right? I'm just gonna move this back here. Gonna trade hits. It's a decent trade. These plasma tanks are actually very expensive, and they don't heal as much, so I think that trade is worth it. I kind of want to just like see if I can set up a battery, because those bad boys are pretty cool. And I kind of went with Sapiens, by the way, because they're kind of like the most like balanced faction, not in terms of like strength, but in terms of playstyle. Again, in terms of strength, I believe everything is more or less balanced. I think Sapiens might technically be the strongest by a bit due to their more balanced nature. Turns out something being balanced actually makes it quite strong. Oh my goodness, that's a reference to turn 0 tribes in Polytopia. Well, turn 0 tribes aren't balanced, they're just extremely overpowered. That's how they work. If I make a battery here, can they hit it? Yeah, they can. I don't want that. This thing has like no mobility. It's like a catapult from the hit game Polytopia. I'm just gonna spam Marines. Was there anything else I was gonna say about this game? I would say to an extent it's pay to win. It feels more like a pay to play because it's paying for features of this game. Like the undo button that I have, you have to pay for that. Not like real money, in-game currency, but you have to grind for said in-game currency, which I did 8 years ago, or whenever I was active on this account last, because I already had everything, at least everything that money can buy, which pretty neat. Yeah, I'll just take that out. Yeah, the EMP ability is on cooldown, so can't use it. I'll just put this here. I don't care if they kill it because they have to move on to the swamp tile, which is like super bad for them or something. I don't know. Just trying to play strategically in this game is very difficult because there's so much shenaniganery afoot. I don't know, I could do... No, I actually can't because of how movement works. Oh my goodness. I could not imagine just being a newcomer and trying to figure out this game. Like, I'm a returning player. I used to play this game a lot. That's how I still remember a lot of this stuff. Oh, no way. They fell into my trap. Oh, they hit my bopper. That's actually kind of mean. I think the boppers can move after attack. Or not move after attack, they can attack after moving. Yep, they can. So yeah, if I actually want to optimize this, I want to attack with the Marine first. I don't want this to die, so I'll just send it back. And then I'll hit with this. Hit with this. Actually, that was suboptimal. If I want to be a nerd about things and optimize this. Yeah, you can really... I think that's what makes this game like work well competitively, is how heavily you can optimize things. Which is both a blessing and a curse, because what if I want to actually hit with this first? Deal a bunch of damage. And then one really stupid thing about this game I hate, so I want to escape or move this helicopter somewhere after it is attacked. But my tanks are in the way of where I would want to move it. I want to move it on this 4 HP tank. Okay, well, let's move this out of the way. Oh no, I can't move my helicopter. Yeah, that's a mechanic that exists in this game. Once you do another action, you can't go back to doing something else. Which, at least for me personally, it's kind of annoying because I'm used to playing Polytopia where that's not an issue. Oh yeah. I don't think that was actually an RNG thing. It only dealt 2 damage instead of 3. I think that's how gang up bonus works again. I still don't really understand. Okay, but that deals 3 damage there, you know. Intuitively. I can also just deal... Okay, I probably could have killed this turn, but you know what? I do not care. Like, at this point. You know, I'll just shoot this down. Pew pew. Again, was that optimal? I should have used that first, but I do not. I don't care anymore. We're just gonna win this game. I'm slowly becoming more unhinged. Why does this thing have such awkward range? Its range, I'm pretty sure, is just quite literally 3. Yeah, its range is 3. Uniwar. Download for free. I haven't seen any veterancy happen in this game. Yes, this game has veterancy. Now, the way that it works, you can read that. It's weird and complicated. This thing has some XP. When it reaches that threshold, it becomes a tier 1 veteran. And then there's, I believe, there's only 2 tiers of veterancy. Let's get a fuse. And another battery because I just want to win nice and fast. something else. I'll just skip the animations. Oh, look at that. They got a veteran mecha. You can see by the thingy. Yeah, there's a war report. Look at how many look at how many credits of units I've demolished from them. 5,000. They've destroyed nothing. Clearly it's because I'm good at this game. Oh yeah, there's that. Yeah, that's the Uniwar Pro feature. Undo step by step. Wormholes do. Oh yeah, like a lot of useful stuff. That'd be so cool, but you gotta pay money for that stuff. Cause mobile game. People actually complain about Midgewan and say that Polytopia is pay to win sometimes, and I think those people are not stupid, but they're naive. Because I would even say Uniwar is actually rather tame in terms of pay to win. But like comparing it to Polytopia is genuinely not even fair. Like it's that stark of a difference. Like it's actually kind of insane how this game is actually, again, like I'll kind of show you like what I mean. Let's just make another Marauder. So yeah, to capture bases, I need units that can capture bases. Those are going to be, for my race specifically, that's going to be Marines, Engineers, and Fuses, and that's it. For every faction, it's the same type of unit. They're infantry-based unit, they're medic-based unit, and they're amphibian-based unit. So it's at least consistent. You just have to remember those specific types, because it'd be a little too simple if you could just, I mean, also like balance reasons. It allows tanks to actually be strong without breaking the game into 20 billion pieces, which is a good thing. Again, this game is actually like balanced. Yeah, I'll just put this here so it has the off chance of maybe healing. I don't want to send that there. This is a ranged unit. Let me do ranged things. And yeah, oh wow, 0 damage wasted. Nope, gang up bonus. So it actually does do something. How much does it do? Can you quantify it? Nope, I sure can't. Oh, this cannot use its ability after. Yeah, okay. This does things. Okay, yeah, the undo feature. If you don't have Uniwar Pro, is clunky and inconvenient, but that's by design, so you buy the Uniwar Pro, which I don't want to do. I'm just a man who has a YouTube channel. I'm not rich like that. Yeah, they're just gonna heal their mecha, I guess. It'd be really funny if I could if I could just convert their dude. I think I can actually. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yeah, you can do this with every faction. There's like you can convert their mecha, but then the Titans can convert the underlings, which are like the Crawlian equivalent of infantry, and then the Crawlians can convert the Marines into infected Marines. I know, creative. Fun fact, yeah, when you capture a base, it becomes yours. That's how it works. It's just like Polytopia for real. Let's just move like that so I can get this in the game. I don't know. Surely we're just winning very soon. Blast through this animation. Fire upon this, which is on the base. And yeah, you either win by capturing all the bases or having all the bases occupied and killing all their units, because that's also like, that effectively wins the game, because then they can't do anything. I wouldn't really call it an alternate win condition so much as just you won the game, but yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, you see how that dealt 3 damage when it could have dealt 4. I don't care enough to change the outcome of that. But yeah, I can just take that up, and now they can only train units in that amphibious base, which I would like to just cover with the fuse. Let's make a battery. Let's be done with this. Okay, then I'll go pew pew, pew pew, pew pew, pew pew, and then just whump, capture, win the game. I'm so victorious. Woo. Oh my goodness, you can buy 7 days of Uniwar Pro for only 600. I don't remember the name of either of those currencies. Yeah, you have to buy a lot of features. If we go into the shop, you can see what I mean. So you can buy Uniwar Pro, you can buy undo turn tokens, unit gems and unicoins, that's what they're called. You can buy extra concurrent games. Oh, nice. Not gonna lie, I probably won't need that because the current limit for me is 8. You can buy extra archive games, which that I probably will actually need because yeah, this is a game of all time. Choose opponent's color, all sorts of stuff. There's build unit tokens. Why would you need tokens to build units? Don't you already have all the units unlocked? Yeah, here's all the things I bought. You have to buy permission to chat. And also buy to choose your own color. But yeah, you actually have to buy the units. Not all of them, of course. Only, these are basically like the DLC units. Because when the game was originally released, these weren't here. And then they were released at some point. And then they're here, and then they're DLCs. You technically don't need them, but they are useful. Especially the Tank Buster, or I guess they're called Blaster units. They're Tank Busters, basically. But yeah, there's that. You can, yeah, this is how I grinded unicorns, is by watching a ton of ads back in the day. And you can get Uniwar Pro for money. Yeah. Oh, no way, that's my history. Yeah, I won a game not too long ago. I might show you guys the replay. Oh yeah, also, I'll just show you like the online lobby. Yeah, you can make custom maps. Some of them suck, and then some of them are good. And some of them, I don't even know what to think. I've got one where I'm playing on a trashy map, and I'm winning by a lot. I'm using the Crawlians. Look at how cool they look, or something. Yeah. Most of the games it's gonna be like basically impossible to find the equivalent of a live game. It exists, but you won't find it because everyone's gonna be playing 24-hour games. Because what else would you do? Oh my goodness! But look at this replay. Look at the graph. It has a graph. Oh my goodness! But I actually have not watched this, but I kind of know what happened because like that's how this game works. Oh my goodness! Openings. And they threw a worm down. That's like the unit of all time. You can go step by step, which is like so nice. Things happened this game. I think I know when they threw. They at some point decided it would be really funny. They were actually like winning for a bit. Which I know what you might be thinking, oh, but they only killed one extra. Yeah, that's actually surprisingly meaningful in this kind of game. Just a small advantage like that just builds. And they also were just destroying me positionally. More things happened. Their worm was like super low on health, but I like couldn't kill it, which was so annoying. Then I killed it. We go back to the war report. I'm actually still losing, just barely. And then they have another worm. I have like a boarfly. I finally got a worm of my own because I was sick of getting destroyed by their worm. It's a grind. And one thing about this game is because unlike Polytopia, like there's no eco development over time. Your eco is set. Once all the bases are captured and you're in this kind of position, it's really hard to see the game actually advance if you just trade things. You have to kind of actively like build up your units for the game state to advance all that much. Otherwise, you're just kind of like fighting around for position, and it can make the game feel really grindy sometimes. Oh yeah, this is where they like kind of threw. They made this little idiot here, and it was kind of useless for most of the game, and it was super expensive too. And let me just suddenly, oh, now I have this good positional advantage. And wow. And if you're wondering this, it took me a while to actually like plan my turns and stuff because you have the undo button. So you can take a really long time to do your turns because you can like look at the outcomes of stuff and then change your mind and do all that. If you guys can't understand what's going on in this replay, that's probably normal. Again, as I mentioned, this game is very just it's a handful, but cool replay feature. Yeah, suddenly I'm getting a bunch of veteran units. I'm way up. They decided to not oh, we're actually like even, but I think it was my turn at this point. Or no, it was oh no, it was the end of their turn, and then my turn. I just destroy everything they love. Oh yeah, once I destroy this is where I'm really truly winning, because they had that funny Leviathan just kind of. Yeah, I've got a bunch of good like veterancies here. Veteran units are very strong because they actually have increased like attack and defense because it scales with HP, but when the max HP changes, they actually still deal more damage. Oh yeah, something interesting with this game, you've probably noticed, is every single unit has a max HP of 10, which is kind of like interesting. But yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, this game did take a bit. The opponent played through their turns relatively fast. No way, graph. Oh, you can copy the replay link and you can archive it. You can do all that. No way. Yeah, you can rate the map for this race combo. What a game, am I right, guys? Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.